Hello, and welcome to the 76er Files. Welcome to the 76er Files, everyone. I'm Kwame Fisher-Jones, and as always, I'm joined by my man, Roy Burton. Roy, last week, we discussed would the Sixers, what can the Sixers, how can the Sixers. Now we got a blueprint of where they sit. Number one, first overall. I'm going to jump right. Who are you taking?
With the number one pick, the Philadelphia 76ers should and will select Ben Simmons towards LSU. They have to. They don't have a choice.
They have a choice, and we'll get into the choice. We'll get into the choice, but I'll let you finish.
You cannot be the team to pass up the talent that Ben Simmons can bring to you.
And send him where?
And send him to LA. You can't be that. You can't be that guy. That is a fireable offense. That is a fireable offense.
That's Andre Bignani all over again.
Brian Colangelo just got here, and that's a fireable offense he can commit weeks into his stint as a GM. You absolutely can't do it.
All right, so let's start right there.
Okay.
Let's start right there. Here's my issue with the whole thing that's surrounding the first overall pick. I'm hearing a lot of people talking about Ben Simmons as if this dude can't play basketball.
Right.
Like, he is ultra talented.
Super talented.
He is, without a shadow of a doubt, the most talented, skilled player in the NBA.
In the draft, yes.
Oh, yeah, in the draft, excuse me. I'm not taking him number one.
Okay.
Well, I should say that. I have to take him number one. I don't want to send him to Los Angeles to play with D'Angelo Russell and Jordan Clarkson.
And Julius Randle.
And coached by Luke Walton and the West. Like, I can't do that.
Right.
And it's not because you care what happens to LA, but it's because if you pass on this guy for a guy that's going to take longer to develop or longer to reach his prime, you don't want to have to deal with that all the time. But here's the issue I have. I'm hearing a lot of people talk about him like, do you take Simmons or do you take Ingram? There's no debate there. If you're going to take Brandon Ingram, if you're going to not take Simmons, it better be because you're going to make a move. And you better you better make damn sure that the guy you pick is at the team. Like, for instance, and clear it up. I want the Sixers to trade the pick.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is I want them, Boston sits at 3. Make no bones about it, I want Buddy Hield. And I know there's dudes out there stealing my thunder, saying they want Hield too. I hear you. I hear you. You know you didn't think Buddy Hield until I said it, but we'll let it go. I want them to make that trade with Boston.
So you're not only will you not take Simmons number one, you're going to trade out of the number one slot to 3 to get Hield, because that's a fireable offense too. You can lose your job on that too.
Therein lies my genius.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is I draft Ben Simmons, and I call Boston. Say, you want Ben Simmons? Give me your 3rd pick.
Okay.
And that nice little 2017 swap you have with the Nets.
Okay.
Because the Nets are going to suck for probably about the next 15 years, until cigarettes are no longer illegal. Like to smoke, that's how long the Nets are going to suck. So that pick is going to be a top 5 pick. You get Boston on the line and you say, we'll give you Ben Simmons for that 3rd pick, but you got to take Buddy Hield at 3.
So Boston's going to give you 2 first-round picks to move up.
Who's the general manager in Boston again?
Danny Ainge.
Who's the general manager in Boston again?
Well, they're the ones who swindled the Nets out of the deal.
And they're also the ones who got swindled in trading for Kevin Garnett, but first trading for Ray Allen and then lucking up and getting Kevin Garnett. Remember, they got Kevin Garnett after they traded for Ray Allen.
Right.
They made the Oklahoma City Thunder who they are when they traded for Ray Allen.
Correct.
Remember, a lot of people don't remember that. They traded on draft night. And they gave them picks. So Danny Ainge's butt got saved by his man Kevin McHale.
Right.
He's still the same general manager who's known to make bad pick after bad pick. He's still the same general manager, that's made horrendous trades after horrendous trades. So that makes bad. So yes, I'm making that deal.
Okay.
I believe in that deal.
The Celtics make that deal. This is the same team that reportedly offered you their pick before they knew where it was for Jahlil Okafor at the trade deadline. You told them no. Now you're going to be the ones.
Who told them no?
The Sixers told them no.
Oh no, who told them no?
Okay, Sam Hinkie told them.
Okay, so and that's allegedly.
Allegedly.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But we know Colangelo is one of the things Colangelo's had success with is making later picks in the first late picks in the first round.
Absolutely.
He hasn't gotten all-stars, but he's gotten good players. Michael Finley was one. I know I'm drawing a blank right now, but he's had other good players.
We got Marion later.
Yeah, so exactly, and that's when he was a scout and when he was assistant. Right. So I like Colangelo with those late picks. Those was it 24 and 26.
24 and 26.
I'm not giving those up, and I don't want Boston's. I don't want anybody on Boston's roster. I don't want anybody.
No Jay Crowder.
Yeah, you talked about that.
No. I'll throw a name out there. He's terrible. No James Young if you want a shooting guard.
I did like James Young coming out of Kentucky. See, here's the problem. When you get a guy that's already been in the NBA, and we'll get back to Simmons, but when you get a guy that's already been in the NBA and hasn't had a chance to have any success, has struggled, you wonder where their mind is at this point.
I agree.
If James Young had came in, that's what I use about Marcus Smart. A lot of people said they didn't want Marcus Smart because he couldn't do this, couldn't do that. But I say he would have come in from day one playing alongside MCW. They would have rolled the ball out. These guys would have played. They would have developed differently than the way they developed there. That's one of the misnomers out there, that if a guy has success, that success will translate, a la Kevin Love, or if they fail, and that's not the case.
Right.
So I don't know if I would take James Young, but I can tell you this. I don't want him.
Okay.
If they offer him, maybe, but I don't want him. What I want is that 2017 pick, and I'll give you Ben Simmons. Well, I don't want to bash Ben Simmons as a player, as a person.
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah.
But what apprehensions do you have about bringing him to Philadelphia?
About bringing Ben Simmons?
Or taking him the first pick overall?
Well, obviously the number one apprehension is the jump shot. The jump shot, again, is a weakness of his. He shied away from taking shots. Again, this is a man, quite frankly, put up tremendous numbers, 19, 12, and 5 at LSU. Shot 56% from the field, and he had no jump shot. Like, defenses sagged off of him.
And he found a way to get it done.
And he still found a way to get it done. He still found a way to get to the foul line 9 times a game. So offensively, he was productive in college without a jump shot. But you have to have a jump shot in the NBA, especially playing where he's going to play.
You don't think that can? All right. Here's why I don't want him. I have no doubt that he'll be a good player.
Okay.
I think he'll be a 6-time All-Star. I think he'll play 14 years. Same thing with Wiggins. I think Wiggins will play. I often compared Wiggins to Jerry Stackhouse, and I see that comparison there. And it's funny because one of the things I hate is when people say, well, I think he'll be the next da-da-da-da. But when you scout players, you like to see, because a lot of times you're bringing two people who've only seen YouTube highlights.
Correct.
So he's like, say, who's he remind you of? Ingram, and we said this before the camera, I said Ingram reminds me a lot of Latrell Sprewell at Alabama, that same type of deceptive first step. He's quick off the feet, quick off the ground, he's got that wire. But the thing that made Latrell special, Latrell was a little past crazy. The Alabama.
He had a little fire.
You call it fire. My mama called it bat crazy.
Okay.
You knew he was a little gone, and that's what made him special. Ingram is a good kid, well-adjusted kid. You're not getting that player.
Right.
So I don't want Ingram. I think he'll be a good player, but not number one.
Not a number one pick. Not over Simmons.
And, that's the thing about Simmons. The things that Simmons doesn't do well are the intangibles and the between the ears.
Right.
That's not going to change.
Okay.
Derek Coleman was ultra talented.
But you don't think his desire to be a star, an icon, this is the guy who's posing on the cover of Slam magazine in the Michael Jordan, All-Star jersey, like the guy who already signed with LeBron James's agency.
Same thing Johnny Manziel did.
You don't think his desire to be an icon and desire to be a star is going to propel him to do whatever he needs to do at the next level?
In a word, 2 letters, the most powerful 2 letters in the English dictionary. No, there's always room. No. And I'll tell you, plain and simple, it's easy to say it. It's harder to do it. Everyone can tell you how to do it. Nobody can get it done. And he's coming to an environment where the landscape is bare. The NBA has had very few transcendent stars. And one of those stars was Allen Iverson. But he had no one to grip him by the collar and say, dude, you've got to hold everybody accountable. Being the best player on the court doesn't necessarily mean that that's where it stops. You've got to be the best player. And I'm not talking about practice. You've got to hold every scout accountable. You've got to hold your general manager, your head coach. Ben Simmons isn't going to do that. He's not cut from that cloth. He's not going to sit at a podium and say after a loss when he only shot once, it's time for me to go. You told me 4 years ago that you were going to have this thing turned around, and it's not. A la Kobe Bryant. He's not going to walk away from his hometown, his friends, his family, to go get a championship, a la LeBron James. Those decisions, to be a champion is not easy.
Not at all.
And to be great is even harder, because you can be Robert Horry and be a champion and not have to carry the burden of that. But to be great and be a champion, you got to tick a lot of people off. Keep it PG. You got to tick a lot of people off. He's not willing to do that. The same way Allen Iverson wasn't. He was willing to sit in front of a press conference and say, practice, elaborate. Tell me why you're talking about practice. So what you're really saying is no matter how hard you practice, Eric Snow's not going to become a better jump shooter.
Right.
Ben Simmons doesn't have that.
So you're willing to pass up the most talented player in the draft and try to swing a deal for Buddy Hield?
I know
You got to say it out loud. You know, just go in the mirror. You know, look at yourself and just say it out loud again after the show. See it. You know,
Buddy Hield, yeah. No, you're right.
You know.
And the big smile and the teeth and the haircut makes it uncomfortable. But I see a kid who's used to carrying the load.
Okay.
So his shoulders are strong.
Okay.
He's a self-motivated. I see a kid that's going to be in the gym 3 o'clock in the morning.
I don't doubt that.
Shooting jump shots. And a kid that's not going to tell me he needs to decompress after a bad game. You know, I see a kid that's going to give me maximum effort. In game 5, game 55, game 75.
Mm-hmm.
You know, D'Angelo Russell was a guy I didn't like, and we talked about it. I didn't like him coming out of college. I thought he was going to struggle.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think he finished well with the guy. But I learned something about him because it was a dude that in game 57 dropped 30-some points. You know, in game 72 dropped, while Jahlil Okafor was on the sidelines hurt.
Right.
Karl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell were still balling.
Mm-hmm.
That gives you something. That's something you can't coach. That's not something that develops. You come in with that. I got, we're going to be on network TV, so I got to keep it clean. But that mentality, that irreverence, that
You
jerk.
got to bring it.
Yeah, like you hear dog.
Yeah, I don't want to use the word dog.
I don't like dog, but it's that moxie that a lot of guys, testicular fortitude, that a lot of guys don't have, and Ben Simmons doesn't have that. He's a hell of a ball. Stop it, though. He's a hell of a ball player.
I got to cut you off there. 12 rebounds a game is not moxie. It's not dog. You got to work.
Perkins Ellison gave you like 13 rebounds a game.
19, 12, and 5 and 2 steals. No one in 30 years did that in college. No
Beautiful.
one.
That's great.
No one.
And I hate the numbers generation.
So he doesn't have the moxie?
No.
He doesn't have what?
Not in Philadelphia.
Okay.
Not with Brett Brown.
So we're drafting players based off a dog, for lack of a better term.
Not so much. They got to have talent. I think we all would agree Buddy Hield has the talent.
He's talented.
But here's the thing. I'll give you another example. We saw a video of Jahlil Okafor, right? Yelling at people, I got him, all that stuff, right?
Yes.
What we didn't see is Jahlil Okafor chewing Brett Brown out for taking him out late in games. With the game on the line, you're telling me Isaiah Cannon's better than me on the court? Seriously, though.
No.
In all sincerity, imagine Brett Brown taking Allen Iverson out of a game.
Right.
And he's not even a champion. But imagine with the game on the line. Now flash that and imagine taking out Kobe Bryant, a champion, or Shaq.
Right.
Or DeMarcus Cousins, for crying out loud. That attitude comes with the player. Ben Simmons will say, I'll do what's best for the team. Buddy Hield will say, no, my ASS needs to be on the court.
Okay.
You know what it is? Ben Simmons is Kevin Durant.
Okay.
That's what he is.
All right.
He's Kevin Durant. He'll fill it up for you. He'll give you all the cute things. But when it's time to win, when it's time to do the things necessary outside of your natural element, when you got to call people, he's not going to give you that.
Ben Simmons is Kevin Durant. Buddy Hield is
Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook.
Okay.
I'm going to walk. I'm going to travel. I'm going to cheat by any means necessary to win this game.
When you talk to your cousin Buddy the next time, can you get an autograph? Can you give me just,
Buddy Hield actually does have family in this area.
I'm just saying.
He does have family in this area.
You talk to him,
I've done my research. No, look, man. I see a guy, I see one of those rare mixture of talent and accountability. And I don't want to see that pass. And I don't like the fact that you're bringing a talent who may or may not have, I don't think he has it, but may not has it between the ears, may not have it between the ears into a blank slate and asking him to make it happen.
Well, but let me just bring it back this full circle. Let's say you don't make a deal. Let's say you have to pick number one. You bring Ben Simmons in and you try to make it work.
We'll hold that. Coming back on the other side of the break, God help us if we got to keep Ben Simmons. 76 and 5.
No, I don't know though. I'm scared. I mean, you're
Do you know that you're in my lane?
No, not at all.
Are you not paying attention? Are you texting? I was just checking in with my mom. I was telling her that I thought we'd be home by 6. It's okay. There's enough time.
Just pay attention.
I'm not even halfway through my text. There's no way. I'm not even going to look up. My babies are in the car. You have to pay attention. It's just supposed to be a quick text. I'm so sorry.
Welcome back to the 76er Files. Roy Burton, Kwame Fisher-Jones. Now, going into the break, you asked me, what if they don't make the deal? It's a good question. It's an outstanding question. My response is you make the deal.
I got to hold your feet to the fire, okay?
Yeah, no, I agree.
I
And
gotta
it's a
hold your
great
feet to the fire.
question. Like, how do you get it done? You get paid a handsome salary to get it done.
Okay.
There's too much, excuses in the world. I tried to do it, and then try harder, man. You got to get it done.
So
Like,
you have to make this deal.
you treat this deal like it's dinner, and if you don't bring food home, the kids starve.
Okay.
That's what you got to treat it like. It's not. You don't treat it like it's your last, because if it doesn't work, you got tomorrow. No, you treat it like this is death. You treat it like this is all you have, because you draft Ben Simmons. First of all, we both are in agreement. You have to take Simmons number one. You have to take Simmons number one.
Simmons one.
You draft Ben Simmons and it doesn't work out. Your franchise is set back another 3 years. Because it's going to take you 3 years before you're willing to say it doesn't work out.
Correct.
Even though you'll know by game 6 this isn't working out. You got to say, well, this year will be the year Ben. You know how it goes. This year will be the year Ben Simmons figures it out.
Right.
He was young. No, so you have to make this deal.
Let me. You're not going to answer the question. So let me.
Now, I am answering the question. You're dealing with a guy. You're dealing with. I mean, as men, we often are faced with challenges where you say, well, what are you going to do? How are you going to get it done? And you say, I'm going to get it done.
Get it done.
Like, I got it. It's not a gotta. I'm going to get it done.
Right.
That's it. Period. I'm going to get it done. That's what Colangelo, and he knew that. And on a sidebar, and we talked about this a little bit, I was one of those dudes who didn't believe the NBA draft was fixed. I was like, no, what are you talking about? It's just luck. Dude, come on, man.
It's not fixed.
Man, Hinkie.
It is not
Yeah,
fixed.
Hinkie's the general manager of the Sixers. They're picking 3.
They're picking 1.
And they're picking 3.
Nothing changed.
Boston's picking 1. Like the NBA is
changed.
going to screw it to them and have Boston pick 1. Man, it's put it this way. You got Dikembe Mutombo. And I said this to you, there's if you look at certain people, he don't follow the instructions. Dikembe Mutombo, Mount Mutombo.
Yes.
Mount Mutombo. He speaks 17 different languages, but can't keep the tweet to himself. Tweets out, congratulations, Sixers on #1 pick. And everybody's like, what is that? What are you talking about?
He had it in drafts. He jumped the gun.
He didn't jump the gun.
He had it queued up.
He
He's like,
saw
yo,
the fire when a bullet landed.
I'm going to drop this at 8:30. He had it in drafts, ready to go.
Yeah.
The draw didn't even happen when he tweeted that. It happens an hour before.
No.
I've been to the draft. I know how it works. I know how it works. It didn't happen
Did
at
you
4
go
o'clock.
in the secret bat room?
I did not go in the back room. But I saw.
Bat room is where it goes down. It goes down in the DM and it goes down in the bat room.
They have video on NBA.com that shows
Jump
the
cuts.
back room.
Jump
that
cuts.
shows what happens in the back room.
Jump cut to make it look like.
All right, so there's 14 representatives in there. There's the accounting.
Explain to Philadelphia how it goes down.
All right, here's how it goes down in the back room. Okay.
The bat room. The secret society Illuminati room.
14 league representatives, one for each team, in the room. There's the accounting firm. There's NBA people in there. There's a person who actually keeps time, because there's a certain amount of time the hopper needs to spin between picks. So what happens is they put the 14 lottery balls into the hopper, just like the Pennsylvania lottery, and then every team is assigned a bunch of combinations based on where they land in the lottery. Now the Sixers had 250 combinations. Most of those start with 1. The numbers come out of the lottery. They pull the balls out of the lottery one at a time. They pull a number out. They read the number. Wait 10 seconds. Pull a number out. Read the number. The 4 balls come out. Whoever has that 4-ball combination happens. It happens to win the draft. Now, that happens 1 hour before everything we see on TV.
Question for you. One
Yes.
question. Do you do realize the Easter Bunny is not real as well, right?
Easter money is Easter money is not real.
Here's my issue. That's 2016 on 2017. Why can't you just do the freaking thing live?
You don't
right
want to see
there?
it because if you
No,
get
but-
another. Here's the thing. I'll explain it. You draw a combination. Whoever's combination comes up 1st is the winner. You draw another combination. If that same team comes up, you have to do it again.
I'm fine with that.
It is the most boring thing in the history
So
of the
there's
world.
a lot of going to the DMV is boring, but we all have to do it.
No, you don't have to watch guys pull lottery balls out of the machine.
The next time, you know what? I do because I believe that sucker's fixed. You're not going to convince me that if Hinkie's the general manager, Sixers get number one.
Nothing changed. They didn't even win a game after Hinkie resigned. Nothing
Yeah,
changed.
but the deal was already signed. The treaty was already signed when he gave his.
So Adam Silver
Yes.
said, you you did us a solid.
Yes.
We're going to do you a solid.
David Stern got on the phone from Boca Raton with his flip-flops and a Tommy Bahama shirt on and said, look, we can't have the Sixers doing what they're doing. So tell them, if as long as Hinkie's in the building, they will never get a number one pick. They said, okay, well, who do we replace him with? Jerry would be great. Jerry's a good guy, turn around USA basketball. He'll come in, he'll give some legitimacy there, and then they'll make a move. Now, they didn't sign on Jerry bringing in his son. Nepotism is alive and well.
Yes.
But they definitely signed off on getting Hinkie the hell out of it. So what do we do with Sam? Sam will quit. He's a prideful dude. He'll go somewhere, drink some wine and Triscuits. He'll quit. What did he do? He quit. What he built, he decides to turn his back on. Tells you a lot about a man when you quit. They didn't fire him. He quit.
He quit.
Because he wasn't going to be able to what? Get the credit for what he built?
Well, they demoted him twice.
Okay. He screwed up.
But if you get demoted twice, you have a certain sense of pride.
Yeah.
And then at some
Do
point,
you really?
Yeah.
When you trade guys who can't play? Do you really?
No, this was his baby. They said, you know what? You didn't do a good job. You got demoted. Then they're going to bring another guy in over top of him to demote him again. You can't. That man's got pride. You know, I understand.
You keep saying it.
I understand that.
That was not a prideful letter that he wrote.
I understand. That was 13 pages. That was 13 pages of pride.
pages of weeping. But anyway, bringing it back.
Yeah.
I believe the lottery's fixed. But, let's bring it back to Simmons. You asked me, what do you do if you don't make that deal?
Can I throw something at you? Let me throw something at you.
Go ahead.
Let's say we don't do your deal. Let's say we throw another deal at you. Boston obviously wants Okafor. Okafor is probably going to be more talented than what they can draft at 3, whether it be Dragan Bender or whoever they choose to draft at 3. Throw Okafor to Boston for 3. It makes sense.
It does.
For both teams. And you still get Buddy Hield, the savior, the man who will curse out Brett Brown if he benches him in the 4th quarter. All the boxes are checked.
But here's the question, and this is why, in the rebuild, I don't want to get rid of anybody we have in tow until I know for a fact they can't do it. Because we disagree on Brett Brown being fired, but what we do agree on is they've finally broken ground on a rebuild.
Absolutely.
This rebuild is happening now. I don't know if I'm ready to give up on anybody just yet. I need to get a training. It's like we'll talk about the point guard position later on. And I said this earlier. The point guard position is the hardest position to evaluate without game film. You can't evaluate the point guard position off YouTube. You need to really sit and watch game film. I don't know if I'm ready to get rid of Jahlil Okafor. The guy's a winner.
Guy's a winner.
I mean,
Guy's a winner. Guy's a proven scorer.
And he'll get better offensively.
He'll get better offensively. He'll get better defensively. He won't be great. He'll get better. All you want him to be, is an adequate.
That dude is wretched, man.
All you want him to be is an adequate defender. I think he can be an adequate defender.
Yeah, well, and a lot of people think Nerlens Noel is going to be a consistent shooter. Look, I think I'd rather take that 2017 pick. But look, if it lands me Buddy Hield, and it gets me out of the Ben Simmons
Simmons and Hield. You got Simmons and Hield. Okafor for Hield.
If you're Boston, you're not doing that deal.
Why not?
No way in hell you're doing
Why?
that. Because you just built you just built the 76ers. You just gave them everything they needed to be great.
Boston needs a big man. Boston wants to be great.
Yeah, but
they were the 3rd best team in the East right now. The time for them is now.
If Danny Ainge makes that deal, he needs to be here sitting side by side with me for the rest of his NBA tenure. And I think about that point, and the thought of Jahlil Okafor in Boston's history and the players. You know what? Let's do this. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll jump back in. Jahlil Okafor to Boston. It's possibility. I want Buddy Hield, though. 76er Files.
We will never fully understand what we've asked of you, or your families, asking you to put yourself in harm's way, to endure it all. But we do understand that it's our turn, our duty, to keep you secure for the rest of your life. Wounded Warrior Project long-term support programs help our most severely ill or injured veterans live independently, at no cost, for life, so that they might stand at ease. Join us at findwwp.org.
I want to say something really important, but really quick. I'm not going to preach to you, but we did something really special this year. Just show that our generation changed the world. Never happened before. So we absolutely changed the world. We changed the world. So it just goes to show anything is possible. Fight for what's right. Fight for what you believe in. And stay forever young.
Welcome back to the 76er Files. You know, Roy, when I wanted to get a co-host, this was the reason why I came to Roy Burton, associate editor, excuse me. See, you got me flabbergasted with the question.
I got you all worked up.
Associate editor for Liberty Ballers, host of the BS Line, co-host. You asked me a question before going into break, if you would trade Jahlil Okafor to the Boston Celtics.
The hated Boston Celtics.
It's not just the hate. I don't hate Boston. I love Boston's pedigree. I love their history. And like I said, I wouldn't mind giving them New Orleans. Like, they can have Noel.
They're not going to give you 3 for New Orleans.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, I can give them Search.
I'd like to pay 50 cents for something that costs $1 too.
Yeah, you know? I like to pay 50 cents per gallon for gas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I like to meet Halle Berry every night. But, you know, look, that player in a film room with Bill Russell, Tommy Heinsohn, Havlicek steals the ball, Paul Silas. These are champions again and again. And these aren't just basketball champions. These are life champions. These are guys that the NBA was built on. I don't know if I want to give a winner to them.
Okay.
Golly, Kevin McHale. Because think about it. McHale gives Kevin Garnett to the Celtics because he's a Celtic.
Right. Well, okay.
You know, like, I don't know if I want to make that deal just because there's something there with Jahlil. You just gotta figure it out. Just like it's something like I killed New Orleans, probably because his first name is New Orleans. You know. Second part is because I mean, dude, you've been in the NBA 2 years. You can't hit a 12-foot jump. I don't care what they're coaching you to do. 40 minutes before practice, 40 minutes after practice, you should have an intern rebounding for you. You should be running down the court, 12-foot jump shots. The David Robinson. That's why David Robinson never went to the NBA Finals. He got Tim Duncan. And part of his arsenal on the offensive end was a 12-foot jump shot, the elbow jumper. You got to get that, Nolan. It takes you from, what is he, 9, 11 points a game now?
12 and 8.
12?
11 and 8.
11 points. That puts you 17 points. That gives you a max contract, my friend. But, yeah, nah, I don't. I want Buddy Hield,
I got you thinking. I got the wheels turning. I see them.
You know
I see
what?
the wheels turning.
I'm going to bite back on it. I make the deal.
There you go.
I make the deal.
There you go.
I give up Jahlil Okafor.
That's right.
For the third
Send
pick.
him to Boston. Kevin McHale calls him the next day. He's like, "Yo, come work with me. I'll teach you. I'll teach you some post moves. I'll teach you the post moves. You know."
Nah, Bill Russell would be the one to get a hold of him.
Oh, Bill Russell.
It'd be ironic he winds up in Boston.
It would be. It would be.
Yeah, Bill Russell gets all right. And you raise a valid point. So Okafor is worth the third pick. You've had Dario Saric now under watchful eye, whatever. Why did anybody want him?
Why would anybody want him?
No, why doesn't anyone?
Oh, because
never
no one has seen. When I say seen him, no one has seen him in the NBA
Whoa.
in 2 years.
But Twitter told me that he's coming and he's going to be an all-star.
Oh well, Twitter.
But okay.
A lot of stories are told on Twitter.
Sports radio, even though the guy, you know, this is funny. You can always tell when someone's seen someone play. They talk like he's going to be a stretch four. Have they seen him shoot threes?
Yeah, he's not quite a stretch four. Not quite. Not quite.
He's a stretch four like, what's the guy, Tiago Splitter's a stretch four. He's a stretch four like that. Like, he's got form and he'll become a better shooter, but he's not a three-point shooter.
He's not, no.
So I'm laughing because I'm hearing people say, you know, Serge coming over. No one wants this dude.
International guys are always mysterious. I mean, even the better ones, like, what's the ceiling on even the better guys, like a Mirotic or Bogdanovic? No one really is committed to any of those guys until they show up in the NBA and actually do something. And so even though Dario was rising star in Europe
4 years ago, he was a rising star.
2 years ago and had a nice year this year, it's all fantasy until he comes here. I mean, that's why he has minimal trade value at this point.
It bothers me that no one wants him. Like, you could trade Embiid right now.
You could trade Embiid because you see how he projects against NBA talent. You can see that. I don't know if you can see that with the international guys.
And it's funny.
Or it's rare.
I was just about to say, it's rare that you
rare.
can get that trade. But, Amin Elhassan said something one time. I had him on my radio show, and I asked him, I said, why couldn't you trade Noel, when in the Embiid draft? And he said, because no one wanted him. He said his value, his stock was low, and he said, and not just low, like just low, no one wanted him. So you weren't going to get anything reasonable.
Right.
And we're seeing why. I wonder, I don't believe Serge is going to be a good player at all.
Okay.
I think he'll be in the NBA for a few years, and you'll never hear from him again. Ceiling is Vlade Divac, but realistically, I don't think he'll be that player. You're staring down the barrel of possibly having two players that no one in the NBA wants.
I think you're overestimating or underestimating Noel's value. 11 and 8.
Here we go.
Oh,
here comes the advanced analytics.
I'll bring out the regular number. He shot 52% from the floor last year. Top 25 in blocks. Top 25 in steals.
How many times did we watch this guy try to cross other forwards up?
Oh, too many.
Okay. How many times did we watch this guy do something offensively to go, what the?
But how many times did we watch Noel play out of position last year because you were trying to see if that Okafor-Noel pairing worked?
That kills me. Great players figure it out. And I know the center and big position takes a while to translate. That's coaching in college, and both those guys only play. But they could figure it out. Your boy, your man, Brett Brown, refused to play Okafor late in the games. You won 10 games, homeboy. You weren't going to win 2 more. If you decided to keep Covington and Cannon, but you couldn't keep the future of the franchise on the floor. So I don't really put too much stock in the fact that he was playing out of position. He's Marcus Camby. He doesn't have a true big man position, but his value is in the fact that he's something you can't figure out. But the fact of the matter is other NBA teams don't want that.
Other NBA teams don't want Marcus Camby? Because he had a pretty good career.
How many NBA finals he played in?
None.
How many championships did he win?
But how many years did he play?
I want championships.
I know what you want.
If I want guys that are going to play a long time, I'll keep Buddy Hield and bring in AC Green to coach him. I'd bring in Ben Simmons and bring in AC Green. I want guys that are going to win titles. We've got a minute left in this segment. Sixers had the first pick in the draft. This is the draft that's going to define them for the next 5 years.
Probably.
You really don't think you really?
No, probably.
They've got the first pick in the draft. You screw this up.
No, but the player they draft, Ben Simmons, may not even be your best player.
Well, okay. So then the moves that center around this draft, the things that they have to do this draft are going to identify this thing for the next 5 years.
I agree with that.
What move are you making that's going to solidify them getting an NBA title?
Drafting Ben Simmons. That's the move. Drafting the most talented player in this draft. That's the move. And again, I'll say it again. I don't know if he's going to be your best player 3 years from now, but drafting a guy who already is the complement to the guy who you think could be your best player, Joel Embiid.
Who?
Joel Embiid.
Never heard of him. Never heard of him.
You've heard of him.
We'll take a quick break. You know what? We're supposed to run into the NBA playoffs, but I want to piggyback off that. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about that because I don't agree with that at all. 76er Files.
I was 32.
I was 30.
I was only 28 years old when I found out I had breast cancer.
I survived breast cancer.
I survived breast cancer.
I am still fighting breast cancer.
Talk to your doctor. Get regular mammograms and perform routine self-exams.
It's as easy as taking a shower.
Welcome back to the 76er Files. Before we went to break, I posed a question for Roy. what move brings you closer to an NBA title? Or that should have been the question I asked. So the move that you believe brings them closer is drafting Ben Simmons. See, I believe the move that brings them closer is drafting Buddy Hield and getting another player, because I think the Sixers need an attitude more than they need talent right now. And that doesn't mean that you draft a guy that doesn't have talent, but that means you have a guy that his attitude is a little higher than his talent. I think Simmons' talent is more than his attitude. But explain to me, you've got to sell, all right? You've got to sell your fan base. I'm sitting back on this one.
Okay.
On why they should vote Simmons. We both agree you don't go Ingram.
You do not go Ingram number 1.
You know, a good player.
Good player, fantastic
Congratulations, you'll be an NBA player, but not the guy I want. Sell me on how Simmons is going to bring me closer to an NBA
I'll tell you,
title.
and I'll tell America, Ben Simmons, again, let's dial it back a little bit.
Yeah, he's a hell of a ball player.
Heck of a basketball player, not a transcendent type of player, not LeBron James, not anybody, and then anyone of that ilk. When you have a 6'10", 240-pound forward who has point guard skills, who can put the ball on the deck, who can make things happen for his teammates, who can rebound, you cannot afford to pass up that talent. And he also complements the other guy, Joel Embiid, who Kwame believes doesn't exist or refuses to acknowledge.
Heard about him.
Refuses to acknowledge.
It's like the Black Santa Claus. I've heard about him.
He complements Joel Embiid well. Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, those are your two cornerstones. Those are your two pieces. Those are the two best guys the Sixers either currently have or could possibly have on their roster, and you build around them.
So wouldn't Hield complement this character, this Sasquatch Embiid that you're referring to? Who's more shooter?
Simmons is more talented than Hield. Give me the two most talented guys I can have, and they complement each other, and then you work around that.
All right. I see your argument. I 100% emphatically disagree.
Okay.
But I think we both agree, though, that this draft, the moves you make in this draft are going to decide where this franchise is headed next.
Yeah, this could either vault you into, the top 2-3 in the East, or it can get Colangelo fired.
I'll put some names on it. This can be the Allen Iverson draft, or this could be the draft that puts you in the playoffs in the next 3 years, or this could be the Sean Bradley draft that brings you Sharon Wright. You know what I mean? And Jerry Stackhouse, and keeps you in the lottery for this is big.
This is big.
This is huge.
It's huge.
And where teams are right now, where the Sixers want to be is the playoffs. And I'm going to transition now to the playoffs where we want to be someday. Last week, I asked the question to you.
Yes.
Are the Cavs that good? Or are the Raptors that bad? And we both said, we don't know. The Cavs do a lot of shooting. Then the starting point guard for the Toronto Raptors needed to go watch Oprah.
Had something to take care of during the game.
He needed to. I'm sorry. He needed to respectfully. He needed to decompress.
Yes, that's his words. Decompress.
Is this? I mean, thoughts on that?
You cannot. I mean, it's. You're the starting point guard.
You've got hair on your chest.
It's a playoff game. Yeah, you're a grown man.
You don't use decompress in a public setting.
You don't use decompress. You don't walk out on your team. I coach summer basketball, high school kids in the summer league. If a kid walked out on us,
I've got no problem with that.
That kid would get benched. Like you can't.
I got no problem with the guy
that.
saying, "Yo, y'all suck. I need a break."
He left the court. He went in the tunnel. When have you ever seen that? Ever?
I'm gonna answer that question.
Go into the tunnel.
I worked in the WNBA.
A professional. Okay.
I'm gonna answer this. Okay. I worked in the WNBA. I will not say the franchise, but my resume discloses it. I watched a player.
You should say the franchise. So
No.
All right.
Only difference was she was a different gender, which brings me to another point. I watched a female do that.
Okay.
And then say she needed time for herself to process what was going on.
Decompress.
Now, she didn't, but even she didn't say decompress. But that is something your lady will tell you. We just need time apart to just decompress. So, it makes me wonder what poor Dwayne Casey and the Raptors are dealing with right now.
Yeah, poor DeMar DeRozan. Well, he won't be poor next year.
Yeah, he's going home.
Poor DeMar DeRozan.
Now we know why.
Yeah.
And now we know why players don't want to go to Toronto. Decompress? The last time I heard that used in a sentence was in a conversation I had with a young lady, and she said she needed to decompress from the relationship she was in. She needed time to kind of heal her wounds, and I was just like, NBA player decompress.
I mean, the Cavs are probably up with 20.
That's very oxygenish. Like Lifetime.
Very
Yeah.
no network.
Like it's like whoa. So all right. So obviously, his spirit is broken.
Yes.
The Cavaliers have broken his spirit.
Exactly.
Let's look going forward. Cavaliers are going to the NBA Finals.
Yes.
I've already gone on record as saying I think this is LeBron's year. The question remains the same. Are the Cavs this good? Are they 10 games in a row beating NBA playoff quality? I don't want to hear about how weak the East is either.
No. Cavs are a good team. The Cavs are a talented
Michael
team.
Jordan beat Reggie Miller to go to NBA. Reggie Miller to go to the NBA Finals. I mean, so you're not telling me there's any player now that Reggie Miller's head and shoulders better than Mark Jackson and Chris Mullin.
No, the Cavs, like the first two series, I mean, they had, again, historically great shooting. But, I mean, they're just a good, like this Raptor
Ball
series,
movement.
they're just moving the ball around. They're getting good shots. LeBron James, here's a stat. This is amazing. The first two games of the series.
That's why he's on the show.
Against the Raptors. His average shot distance on his makes,
Oh, yeah, I saw this.
1.6 feet.
Gotta
Like
love
1.6 feet. Like that's 18, 19 inches.
Remember when they said LeBron was soft and couldn't get to the rim?
LeBron's soft, can't get to the rim, settles for jump shots. The man is getting to the rim like a madman. He's like with a reckless abandon these days. It's amazing.
Toronto was a pretty good defensive team during the regular
Very good
season.
defensive team. Yeah.
You know, and yeah, I know their big man is out, but look here, man.
You got DeMar Carroll, who's a really good wing
I was just
defender.
about to say,
like,
you brought in Carroll for the sole purpose
Yeah.
of defending, even though the Cavs lit the Hawks up when Carroll was on there. But, I digress. You're thinking you bring him into your environment, different defender, but I actually believe, first of all, and full disclosure, everyone knows my affinity for J.R. Smith. I tried to find a J.R. Smith fan. The NBA says, nah, we don't support the purchase and advertising of J.R. Smith. You will not be buying a J.R. Smith jersey. They said I could get a Varejao throwback, but I couldn't get a J.R. Smith jersey. But no, I love the Channing Frye edition.
very good addition. Yeah.
That had Draymond Green written all over it. You want to run? We'll do that. Pull him out of there. And now you can bring in your bigs. You can have a Tristan Thompson on the court with Jeremiah because now that puts the Warriors in a difficult spot. And they were comfortable with how they matched up with the Thunder. I stand by this. I believe the Cavs are this good.
They're very good. They're absolutely.
I think Tyronn Lue is a hell of a coach. I think the spacing, coaching isn't just about X's and O's, and we see this with Brad Stevens. It's about getting players to fight through walls.
Right.
And he's doing that. I mean, and I heard read a report that he actually yelled at the king.
Got LeBron's face. LeBron tried to draw up some plays like you used to do with David Blatt. Tyronn shut it down.
That's what you want to see.
That's what you have to have as a coach.
Yeah.
You can't have players run.
Well, you could bench LeBron though because he doesn't fit. With your other good players, even though the goal is, the goal is to get better. You could do that, but nah, that's Brett Brown. Brett Brown ain't about that title life.
Love you, Brett.
Yeah, love you. Those views and expressions belong solely to that of Roy Burton and Liberty Ballers right there, trying to keep that credential alive. I think they're that good, and I think LeBron is that good. You look at what the Cavs are going to do going forward. They're playing a Golden State team that prides itself in ball movement. They're playing a Golden State team that, despite what the casual NBA fan believes is built on shooting, they're built on ball movement and spacing. So now you can defend all those positions.
Right. Now you can defend them and have them defend you. Because, again, now you can space the floor. You put Channing Frye and Kevin Love and J.R. Smith and Kyrie Irving around.
Who?
And
Peanut Brittle? Peanut Brittle ain't playing NBA Finals.
Kyrie Irving, put those guys around LeBron James, space the floor, let LeBron get those easy baskets.
It's going to be, and I think we both agree, the Thunder, well, they've played 8 quarters of basketball. The Thunder have been down by 10 or more points in 7 of those quarters, I believe, at some juncture.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about here? Like, and I love Russell Westbrook.
You love Russell Westbrook. You're not so much Kevin Durant, but you think he's a good player.
I think Kevin Durant's a great player. I think he's going to go down as the greatest scorer the game has ever seen.
Ever?
I think I think because Wilt can't do what Kevin Durant did, but Kevin Durant can do what Wilt did.
Okay.
Kobe Bryant can't do it the way Kevin Durant did it with the efficiency from the 3-point line. Now he came up in a different era where the goal was to get to the basket, but Kevin Durant, I think Kevin Durant could play and do the things that each one of those players did offensively. So I think that's,
Okay.
you know, maybe not Kareem as far as the skyhook, but those are your three pillars, and Michael Jordan.
I'm like
of course. You know, but I think he can do with any of those four. Those are your pillars offensively. Kareem, Wilt, Kobe, and MJ.
I agree.
You know, I think Kevin Durant could do anything that they could do. I don't think they could do what Kevin Durant do. I think he's a matchup nightmare no matter what you put in it. But I just don't believe his bark is as good as his bite.
You don't think they have a shot against the Warriors? They stole a game in Golden State already. They had, you know.
Man, please.
Okay.
Man, stop it. They don't have. listen, camera one. No, you don't have a shot. You're wasting. I mean, at this point, Russell Westbrook is realizing that Mark Cuban struck a chord. He thinks I should be the lead singer now. So he's proving that in these games. And when they game 4, when they're down by 4 or 5, or you know, at some point in the series they're going to be down by a possession. And Kevin Durant's going to be open like this, and Russell Westbrook's going to wave him off, and that is the final nail in the coffin. That will be when we all start realizing Russell Westbrook is headed someplace else. But as far as this series, right now, get your popcorn ready, get yourself ready, Warriors, Cavs. And I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be a great series. I mean, I still want to see if, like, I'd like to see Durant and Westbrook face off against LeBron James just one more time.
We saw that in the NBA lockout season. We saw that. We saw what Kevin Durant did. He shot well, rebounded well. They lost.
But we saw, that was a different Thunder. That was a completely different Thunder team.
They had the Mohawk on that team.
And now LeBron's back with the Cavs with a completely different type of team than he had in Miami. So I mean, like, I would like to see that. Again, we saw what, 4 quarters of it last year. 4 quarters of Warriors Cavs last year. Give me something different. Give me Durant. If Durant wants to be
different, though.
Durant says, I'm tired of being second. You know, I'm tired of this, that, and the
He
other.
says it all the time.
You know what? I want to see him. I want to see him on that spotlight. I want to see him on that stage.
Kevin Durant keeps telling you he wants to improve his credit, but he don't want to pay his bills. It's like, you know, he don't want to do the things necessary to be a champ. Look, to me, the Thunder don't have a shot. I look at it, and they got talent.
They've got talent.
Offensively, they got talent. There's
talent.
no way in the world Golden State should be blowing the doors off of them offensively.
Agreed.
But it happens. It happens, and it's happened consistently. And at some point, you have to admit Kevin Durant is who he is. He's the guy that's going to give you 40 points, 30 points. He's the guy that's going to go to the post-game press conference, say all the tough guy talk, you know, all the Fonzarelli quotes and analogies he can find. But he's still not going to win. And Russell Westbrook's going to be sitting there, dressed interestingly.
Very.
Did he have his nipples out?
He had like the shirt, like, I don't know if you're a wrestling guy, but you know, the Brooklyn Brawler.
He had the Hulkamania white shirt.
He had like the white T-shirt on that, you know, not the icy white, but like the you know, like the dingy white T-shirt with the holes in it. You know, I mean, these are, you know, these millennials, you know, maybe I'm too old, you know.
No, that's never been in style.
Okay.
That's never been in style. Like, there's never been a time Prince's pants were cool. Like, there's never been a time Russell Westbrook's shirts are going to be on point.
Okay, all right.
Some cats are just different.
Maybe I thought I was just too old.
You can't win like that, though. That's my point. The Thunder, they're always on some other.
They're on some other. They're always on some
it's
other.
like they're on some James Harden with the beard, and then he takes that to Houston, and now Houston miraculously like that's the Thunder. They're on some. They're in Oklahoma City, and that's what you get.
That's what you do.
So we're looking forward to a Warriors Cavs finals. I think we both agree the Cavs are just this good.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm on record. Are you still going with the Warriors?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, they're just too good.
Hard head makes for a soft behind. 76 and Files. Come back on the other side. We are going to discuss. We're going to jump into. We're going to talk more about the Warriors. We'll talk a little bit more about the Warriors and what we can expect from them, not just in the NBA Finals, but could there be a Klay Thompson, Stephen Curry beef?
Ooh.
76 and Files.
We will never fully understand what we've asked of you, or your families, asking you to put yourself in harm's way, to endure it all. But we do understand that it's our turn, our duty, to keep you secure for the rest of your life. Wounded Warrior Project long-term support programs help our most severely ill or injured veterans live independently, at no cost, for life, so that they might stand at ease. Join us at findwwp.org.
Welcome back to the 76er Files. You know, going into the break, I referenced or tried to do a transition to Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson. But I want to jump back. I want to take some steps back here.
Okay.
I was kind of hard on Kevin Durant. I'm kind of hard, as well I should be. But when I look at the Thunder, they killed somebody. They killed him.
They killed him.
He's done.
Who'd they kill?
One of my favorite players, one of the greatest power forward to ever play the game, a guy that I hope takes Charles Barkley's spot. You know, we'll do a segment called NBA News and Notes if we have time. And Kobe Bryant turning down TNT is hilarious to me. And they say to Shaq, no, it ain't Shaq he got a problem working with. Shaq got titles. Kenny Smith has titles. Somebody in the end is a little too vocal to have 0 titles. But Tim Duncan.
Yes.
He had a horrible series.
Terrible playoffs. Terrible regular season.
I was about to say, you know, well, he played well defensively. Is it over for Timmy D? Do I have to, like, is he done?
Tim Duncan can choose whether or not it's over.
But he should sit down. He should sit his own self down. That's what you try to delicately say.
Tim Duncan, we appreciate your contribution. We wish you well in your future endeavors. Yeah, Tim's got to go. I'm sorry. Tim's got to go.
I wasn't ready for that. I thought he had, like, Manu has been done for 4 years now. Tony Parker's French. I never cared. You know, but Tim Duncan was the straw that stirred the drink.
He was.
And, you know,
for
we
20
go back,
years.
Yeah, I mean, Tim Duncan, Keith Van Horn, that draft goes a little different. You got Allen Iverson and Tim Duncan on a team with Larry Brown trying to trade one of them.
Right.
You know, I wasn't ready for that. But what Oklahoma City did, they didn't do anything special.
No.
They just ran right by him. They just ran right by it. And Pop got exposed. You know, he couldn't find a way to figure it out, which was about time. You know, he got it handed to him. Give Billy Donovan credit. Give Kevin Durant credit.
Absolutely.
You give Russell Westbrook credit. You know, you give Deion Waiters credit. You give those guys credit. For me, it was just watching Tim Duncan die.
But even during the season, though, even when you saw, you know, what LaMarcus Aldridge brought that Tim Duncan used to bring, that didn't give you a little bit of inkling that this was probably the end of the road or close to it?
No, because much like you and believing in some of the things you believe in basketball-wise, you know, like the draft isn't fixed.
It's not fixed.
You know, I thought that they were saving Tim Duncan. Like, I thought, okay, we're letting him rest for an entire season. Like, I was like, yo, Tim Duncan's going to come.
Oh, man,
he's just chilling right now.
He's playing possum.
Yeah,
you know,
he's drinking some
20
cranberry mango. He's good. Man, I saw game 2, and I was like, oh, my God. Who the hell? Who was 21? And what did they do with Tim Duncan? He didn't just look old. He looked Jordan wearing a 4-5 getting ripped by Nick Anderson bad. Like, he looked Charles Barkley flabby, out of shape, falling when the Rockets came to town bad.
Right.
Like, he looked Moses Malone Washington Bullets bad.
We have 19 years of good memories. You know, just hold on.
Nah,
to
man,
those.
I remember the last episode, and it sucked.
Hold on to those, man.
I can't, and it's tough, because I'm a huge Duncan guy. Like, I love, you know, he's the last of the Pete Newell big men.
Yeah, that's good.
You know what I mean?
Good, yeah.
And I enjoyed watching him play. I loved his footwork. You know, and one of, like, just kind of some random thought, but one of the things I was excited about with the Sixers drafting Okafor was the possibility of him working with Moses Malone.
Yeah.
You know, Moses Malone, who helped Hakeem Olajuwon, who now helps everybody try to be a big man. Moses was at Lincoln, Moses passed. And you know, it's kind of like, I'm not saying Tim Duncan's dying literally, but, you know, it's like it's the end.
Yeah, it's the end of that era. That era of the.
And it'll be back.
Yeah, because everything is cyclical. But the classic big men, the classic, you know, back to the basket, footwork, you know, smart big men. Maybe not the most athletic guys, but they were crafty enough to figure out ways to score 22 and 11.
Yeah, and you know, they could control a game. And Tim Duncan, to watch that. Like, dude, I had no idea he was that bad. Like, golly. So, yeah, it's you know, it's the end. And as we jump from that era to the new era, I'm reading Gary Payton's comments about the era, and Steph Curry wasn't the unanimous MVP. And my man, LeBron James is passive-aggressive.
I think he's aggressive.
Oh, Lord. I love you, LB, but come on, man. Just say it. Say it with your chest. Just say, yo, I was the MVP. Don't send out your goons to send Facebook messages to me. And you know, everybody gets the LeBron fans, which we really know is LeBron sitting back at his keyboard or his tablet, you know, letting the world know how he really feels. I agree, though. I don't think Curry was the unanimous MVP.
Well, before we get into this discussion, let me ask you a question. Are we saying MVP is a best player in the league award?
As
or are we saying,
presently construed, I don't believe he is the best.
Okay.
I think at times, Klay Thompson is the better player. And I love Steph Curry. I was the one that called him a bust because he wasn't playing at the level he should have been playing at. By the way, I still get hit, Mellon. But at times, 82 games, if they played 82 games together, I would say 32 of those games, Klay Thompson is the better player.
So Steph Curry is a better player for 50 games, and so Steph Curry, for the entirety of the season, is the best player on that team. And therefore, I imagine the best player in the league. I don't know if you All right.
No. Kawhi Leonard should have gotten a vote, at least one.
Well, Kawhi Leonard finished second.
Okay, but I'm talking about the first place vote. He should have got one first place vote. Steph Curry should not have been unanimous.
So Steph Curry is not good. Wasn't good that much better than Kawhi Leonard to be the first unanimous MVP.
Okay, let me ask you. I'm gonna answer your question by proposing another question. I'm gonna use the Kyle Lowry O philosophy, the oxygen female philosophy. But I answer your question by another question. Was Steve Nash the best, or should he been the first, or whatever he was?
Nash, I'll cut you off. Steve Nash stole those 2 MVPs.
Okay, from who?
Stole them.
From someone who should have been unanimous. And who's that person?
Shaq.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if Shaq wasn't good enough, if Fred Hickman gave AI a vote the year Shaq,
I can't defend the votes of past MVPs. I can't do it.
But you set the table. These are the same chefs that made those meals. Now all of a sudden,
somebody gave a bad vote, because Gary Washburn gave a bad vote to Carmelo Anthony a few years back to deny LeBron James, means somebody has to take up the mantle for Kawhi Leonard.
Yes.
I see how
it's the Major League Baseball vote.
No, that's terrible. I hate that.
He's good enough to go in first ballot, but
not right now.
He's not better than Chickshaw Jackson, who played 70 years ago. So damn it, no. That's the philosophy going in. No way Steph Curry is unanimous. No way. And Gary Payton's right. And this is going to become the Steve Nash joke of MVPs.
I hate that.
The NBA Basketball Hall of Fame is a joke, and the MVP trophy is becoming a joke. There's no way in the world
they got the guy right. The guy, Steph Curry is the most valuable player. Well, based on the way they give out the award, Steph Curry is the MVP.
Negative.
And whether he's the most valuable player in the league, that's a different discussion.
Okay, well, the discussion is the trophy's most valuable.
But it never goes. Well, I don't think
it should. If I get my vote back, it will. I would have voted for Kawhi Leonard twice. Under 2 different names. I would have said, wait a minute, so Steph Curry's got 60 of the possible, just throwing numbers out, 60 of a possible 62 votes? Okay, hold on. I'm the last one voting? I vote Kawhi Leonard and Robert Covington. Covington, what are you talking? He is not being in. Just like someone should have stood up and said, Steve Nash is not getting 2 MVP trophies on my watch.
I hope they never give you a vote, because I don't want you to be that guy. I don't want you to be that guy.
I'm always that guy. I'm angry, bitter man. For Roy Burton, I'm Kwame Fisher-Jones. Make sure you tune in next week for another edition of 76er Files. Until then, as always, we appreciate your time and year.